You are looking at the pictures of the happy faces and circumstances surrounding men and women who've been in the criminal justice system and are working to get fresh starts. They are a part of a program that specifically focuses on helping these people get their lives back on track. And as you can see from their eyes and their attitudes, in many cases, it is the fresh start that may make the difference for the rest of their lives. Devin Anderson knows all about that. She knows the challenges these men and women face as a former prosecutor and judge and Harris County DA. She's seen this story many times. Now as a CEO and president of Justice Forward, a nonprofit whose mission is to break the cycle of incarceration, she's here to call attention to one of the biggest challenges facing many of the men and women in the justice system, and that is mental health. Good morning, Devin. Good to see you again.
You too. Thank you.
This whole thing, how does Justice Forward first, if people don't know Justice Forward, what do you do?
So we raise money from individuals and foundations to fill in the gaps that the county does not, cannot or won't fund for people in specialty courts. Mm-hmm. And in Harris County, we have 18, and then we've also expanded to Galveston to support 2 of their courts. And these are courts that work on problems. Why someone continually appears over and over in the criminal justice system. Drug use, huge one. Mental illness, the other big driver. But we also help veterans with PTSD, juveniles who are in gangs or who have been trafficked in the commercial sex industry. We have a wide range of clients.
And now mental health obviously is a realization that that's a big component of what's going on among a lot of the people there who are trying to get back on track. It is a significant problem, is it not?
That's right. And it kind of crosses all of these courts that we support. I mean, we find mental illness not just in the mental health courts, but in all of the courts.
This Justice Forward has been on the front lines of helping people who otherwise might go back to the criminal justice system. You've documented more than 3,000 support service acts in the years the organization's been in operation. Current situation you provided to me is that 77% of the Harris County jail population is dealing with some sort of mental health issue. And even more eye-opening to me is the trauma aspect of all of this. When we talk about the juveniles who are involved, 93% reporting traumas. And when we talked earlier before we started doing this program, traumas really turn into mental issues that have to be dealt with.
They do, and substance abuse use. I mean, those both are driven by early childhood trauma.
What has been the key to you, the tipping point for you to really become this huge advocate for these men and women who you've seen throughout your professional career, and now you're helping them through this nonprofit?
Just, attending conferences and talking to court staff about the prevalence of the trauma that people suffer, adults too, as either children or on the streets as they're using or they're doing things to get money for their drugs. They have to deal with that trauma before they can have long-term success. I mean, we can help with the addiction issues. We can get people stabilized on medicine and in the care of a doctor, but until they deal with what is driving all of these issues, they're not going anywhere.
Whenever we talk about crime, though, there seems to be a lot of focus on, okay, they're criminals, let them do their thing. Not a lot of sympathy for folks who are in the criminal justice system. Do you find that to be the case? And as you now are on the other side of trying to make sure these people don't go back into that.
That has changed significantly since I was a prosecutor starting in '92. There's a real understanding now and a personal experience of a lot of people who have addiction in their family, who have mental illness, and they understand that these are diseases that need to be dealt with. And if they're not, then the problem will continue. You can't jail your way out of addiction or mental illness, right?
Good point.
Yeah. Now, I still don't have sympathy for violent offenders, right. And I don't think most people do, but these are mostly nonviolent offenders who are just cycling in and out of the system, and it's this insane reaction to jail them instead of taking care of the underlying issue, right?
Right.
It's the definition of insanity is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the idea is I got to use that line. You can't jail them out of it. Okay, so let's talk about the young people and the trauma that they're impacted with. How do you find the partnerships to make this work?
It's really through the Juvenile Probation Department. They know who's doing trauma treatment well in Harris County, and they give us a list of providers that are scattered throughout the Harris County area because that's where the clients are, right? They're not all centralized. A lot of the really good provider companies have waiting lists. So what we did was create a program called Kids Moving Forward, where we pay for transportation and weekly therapy with a therapist in their area so they can get there and it's a reliable thing they can count on.
You continue to do amazing work with Justice Forward. I'm full disclosure, I support the organization financially whenever I can. I probably owe you a check. You'll probably get that later.
All right. Thanks.
How can people help you?
So it is through donations would be the most helpful at justiceforwardtx.org, and you can select what court you want to support. If you want to support a juvenile court, we will funnel the money to those programs, or to an addiction court, whatever you want to do, or Galveston. Now we've added Galveston to our roster.
Spreading your wings, doing great things all the way around. Devin Anderson, CEO and President of Justice Forward, thank you so much. I'm going to put all your information on the Newsmakers page on clicktohouston.com.
Thank you so much.
Always good to see you.
You too.